you on the pod.
Why are you sitting there with your top off?
Oh shit! Is my camera still on?
Your camera is on them, yeah. But you. Oh no, I can only see your. You can only see your little boy. Your little boy. Your little guy.
He just slowly pulls up his pants, hoping nobody notices.
Yeah, there we go.
Rick, can
I
you just
see.
check the audio now on the stream for us?
Yeah, I can hear the audio on the stream.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's right. I think Nightbeards can check it, actually. Don't worry about it, mate. You enjoy your dinner. Love you, bye. Right, so check your volumes as well, guys. So if you want to talk as well, see where it comes up. Hello.
Yeah, I can hear myself on the stream, so I just need to keep it. Lugo, can you go?
Mm-hmm.
Can I go what?
We just want to check your volume on the actual main
My
stream.
volume is as it should be when I am speaking in my normal speaking volume.
Perfect. Lovely. Okay, that's fine. Well, in that case, we might as well...
What page is it? I haven't opened my book yet. Fuck.
Rangers tonight, my friend. Let's give it a go.
Yep.
Okay. So... Oh my god, I wish I could... Welcome to session 16 of MG4T Tactics, Tales, Triumphs and Traps. Tonight we are going to be talking and having a little look into the Ranger class. I'm joined once again by my esteemed colleagues, Mr. Nightbeard.
Hello.
And we got Lugier.
Hello there. Good to be back.
It has been a hot minute since we were last. Obviously, Christmas has been there, New Year's. People have been busy, but we're back now. Hopefully, be back every week. But yes, tonight we are going to be looking into the Rangers and what changes have happened since the new rules. So yeah, to kick it off, give us a rundown on what the Ranger is. What they're about.
Nature boy.
Nature,
pretty much. Yeah, think of it as a druid meets a fighter, essentially. Is that how I always see it? It's your tracker, it's your Aragon, it's your
Legolas?
yeah, you see, that's the going into really leaning into the archery part. But yeah, it's a I guess the one that's always got the wolf with them, the one that's creatures often next to the druid is the one that has all the familiars, not turning into creatures, but has all these creatures, woodland creatures following it around, helping it out, all those kinds of things. So
I don't want to throw in the Cinderella reference.
So instead
again.
of being a zoo, you are the zookeeper. Is that what you're saying?
That's pretty much well, yeah, essentially. I think that's probably a very good summary of it. You're like a zookeeper, and I think it's like the quintessential wilderness wanderer. You've got everything from a little bit of magic to being good in melee combat to being obviously good at ranged attacks. You've got a whole bunch of things at your disposal to really hunt down your enemies. So it's a whole bunch all just combined. It's really cool. It's probably one of my favorite classes I haven't played.
Nice.
Well, yeah, I mean, the first thing you think when you hear somebody with a longbow in a forest, you're gonna think of a ranger. Just they are great at all the things you said, and the summary is basically a wandering warrior imbued with primal magic.
So they have the ability. So they are technically a martial character, but with magical capabilities.
Yeah, so they're not a full caster. They're half casters, so they have a little bit of magic, but not as much as something like a wizard or that. So not super powerful and not too many magical things, but they have a little bit of here and there.
Yeah, look, I think next to rogues, they are probably, and we'll get to the subclasses just in a bit, but they're probably one of the most ambushy kind of classes next to the rogue. The rogue will always be the ambush class, but this one is a very close second, I think.
Nice. So we're looking at. I mean, let's have a look into the spellcasting side of things. So, I mean, there's been a few changes in regards to what they can do. I mean, I think your main spell, which you use as a bonus action, is Hunter's Mark, which I think is one of probably the main ranger spells.
It's the quintessential thing for the ranger class, yes. And they, speaking of spellcasting, you used to have to be level 2 to be able to cast spells as a ranger. Now they changed it so you can do it at the beginning at level 1.
Yeah.
So right off the bat, you can just feel your class and what it's capable of. You get that taste right from the start instead of having to learn it.
Are we looking at a few spells at level 1, or are we just looking at maybe a Hunter's Mark and is Hunter's Mark actually is actually considered a spell? Does it use a spell slot?
Yes.
So you no, it does. Well, it's a spell, but it doesn't use a spell slot. It actually falls under the favored enemy component in the 2024. So you have 2 uses of this at level 1, which then per long rest. So when you rest, you get to use it again. So it doesn't actually use a spell slot, which is
but it's
quite
still a
cool.
spell though.
It's still a spell, yeah.
Yeah.
But it doesn't use the slot.
Right.
No.
Okay.
So you can take additional
spells. Yeah, when you run out of these free casts, you can still cast it, but you will then have to use
so then you'll move into the spell slot section.
Yeah.
Okay. So they obviously,
and as you level up, you also get more free casts of this.
Oh, what? So when you get to level 6, you'll have maybe 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also you always have the Hunter's Mark spell prepared, even if you have other spells, so it doesn't take up any of your other options. It's just always there for you.
I will obviously touch on one of the. I think it's probably one of the downsides of that is obviously it's a concentration spell. So whereas your hunter's going to be able to take on spell casting, any other spells that are going to need concentration are going to take away from the Hunter's Mark. And I think that's a bit of a negative when it comes to the Hunter's 2022 3-4.
But that's also one of the most beautiful things about it. It leans more into using spells that don't require concentration, that are instant triggers.
Precisely.
Yeah,
that's it.
Because so many classes, they just have really heavy concentration things that they focus on, and here you're more incentivized to just do other kinds of magics, and I think that's a great balance between the different classes.
I mean,
it also allows you to cast more spells, because when you are concentrating on a spell, you can't cast another concentration spell. But if the spell is not a concentration spell, then you can just keep casting spells and not worrying about ruining what you already have up.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about what, for example, what does Hunter's Mark do? We've spoken quite a lot about it, but what does it actually give to you, Hunter?
So I think, do you want to take this, or do you want me to? You want me to go with it?
Go ahead. I'll chime in if I need to.
So essentially, as it gives you an extra 1d6, I think, force damage, against a target that you hit, and the important part is you have to hit it. But for a ranger, if you're doing, for example, longbow, you put Hunter's Mark on, you do an extra 1d6 force damage on every hit, and you're rolling with a plus 3, 4, 5 from level 1 just about. So that's going to have that. And if it drops to 0 hit points before the spell ends, you get to move your Hunter's Mark to a new creature.
And that would be an additional, that'd be an extra bonus action, wouldn't it?
Or that's a bonus action. Yeah.
But not another use of the spell or another spell
It's just a
slot.
continuation.
So yeah, it just
pretty
just rides off that first initial spell cast.
Yeah, and it
Precisely.
lasts
So you
for
can go,
1
well,
hour.
So you say, well, FaZe is dead. I'm going to now concentrate on Lugo.
Why would I die first?
He's dead. Nightbeard, you're up. And that's kind of just like how you just keep rolling it. So if you do it without breaking concentration, you can work your way through an entire army and just snipe them from 100 yards back or 100 feet back, and you'll just be sniping these enemies out one by one, doing extra 1d6 damage, which is great.
Yeah, I mean, any extra damage is good damage. Anything else to add to that?
Yes. The range is 90 feet, and then it lasts for a whole hour. And you can mark something without attacking it. So you can track something if you see it. Or if somebody tries to flee while their hunter's marked, because you have advantage on any perception or survival check to find your marked creature.
So, on the back of that, if you're
damage.
going against an enemy that can go invisible, you've chucked a hunter's mark on that. Does that give you the vision, or can you then still see them or know where they are?
No, but you would have advantage on trying to find where they went or where they are in this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you would give yourself, essentially, you are a ranger. You're great at tracking and exploring, like a hunter would be. So it is the mark of a hunter, and so it doesn't only have combat capabilities. It could also be to track somebody outside of combat, or if you're stalking somebody or preying up on someone, you could mark them. The creature doesn't know that it's marked.
Okay,
that's the cool part as well. Yeah,
let's have a little look at Depth Explorer. What's that about?
Which one?
You've got Depth Explorer.
So the Depth Explorer is a feature that you get at level 2, and you gain expertise in a skill that you are proficient with, and expertise grants you double your proficiency bonus. So if you are great at tracking, you would have proficiency with survival. And if you choose, you could get expertise in survival with this feature, which would mean that you're even better at tracking with that skill, because you would double your proficiency bonus. Or if you want to be really stealthy, you're going to be super good at that, or any other skill that you would like to choose. And you also know more languages, 2 more languages.
And then when you get to level 6, when you get to level 6, I think you've got to get an additional swim speed, a climb speed, and you ignore difficult terrain completely. So it really helps you to really move quickly on the battlefield, especially if you're like fighting in a swamp, or even in snowy terrain where it can be difficult terrain to move. You just ignore it completely, which is really cool.
Oh, nice. Yes, so let's have a look at, obviously, I believe the Rangers come with mastery of 2 weapon types to start off with.
Yes.
And
yes,
obviously
at level 1.
At level 1 as well, yes.
Yeah, so that's why I said, like, at the start, you've got the quintessential is the archer, right? I mean, that's the longbow kind of Legolas idea, but you've got the opportunity to right off the bat to go with melee weapons. It will be not necessarily the best idea to use 2 melee weapons, but you could choose that. So you could be running around with a short sword and a scimitar and a with weapon mastery on it to do nick and get a few extra attacks out on these on your attacks. So it's great, and I think it really opens up a lot of possibilities. I mean, you can, with Hunter's Mark, you've got longbows with push. I mean, you just keep them keep them away from you. You just keep pushing them back. It's going to be stupidly broken. I hope
Yeah,
my players
and
don't do this.
yeah, and to add to that, you can also, if you want to, you can use a shield because you're proficient with shields.
Oh, I didn't realize they could use shields.
Yeah, and you are proficient with light and medium armor, so you're not going to be as beefy as a fighter would, or because they could use heavy armor, but you're still going to be able to get in there and get
Take
into
a few
close combat
punches, yeah, if you
if you
need
so
to.
choose.
If you so choose.
Nice.
And sometimes you are fighting in a tight, small corridor where your longbow might just not do the trick, and then it's nice to be able to be a little versatile and be able to use different kinds of weapons and armor and shields and stuff like that.
So they're basically with Depth Explorer, you can be a discoverer of the land, and then obviously with the expertise and two spurs, you can be great with weapons as well. So it is a really versatile class. We're looking at also at what's they've got fighting styles as well. So you can now choose from a variety of styles, like the Druid Warrior, for example, which adds like Druid cantrips to their arsenal. I mean, is that something that you would see as a bonus?
Oh, it is such an interesting combination that they've made or opened up here. Is this what's a druidic warrior? It really leans into the nature part of this, right? I mean, if you've got this and you've got a druidic warrior, maybe considering multi-classing into a druid later on as well, it can open up a lot of strong possibilities for you. But I'd just straight up choose up and go, well, are you going to be a archer or are you going to be a hack and slash kind of ranger?
So could you essentially on the back of that? I mean, could you be a bear with a bear pet?
I guess so. You could, right? I mean, you're giving me some great ideas here. I might just use that. So I have a bear in one of my games that's now constantly making a recurring. It's becoming a recurring character because they killed the mom, and now the dad's got these two little cubs, and they are actually haunting and tracking down these players constantly. So I'm thinking maybe it turns out to be a yeah, that could be really cool. But yeah, you could be.
You could be an army of bears, like a bear and a bear cub. I like that. I might do that.
Sure, why not?
Why wouldn't you want to do
Yeah,
that?
go for it.
The thing is, you could also lean into with druids as cantrips into more of a helpful role with
support,
guidance,
yeah.
for instance. Guidance just lets you touch a creature of your choice, even yourself, and then they would get 1d4 added to every what's it called, skill check that they make for
I
I
love
think it's a minute.
guidance. It is my favorite.
Yeah, so it's and that is something that's useful all the time, everywhere you go, no matter what you're trying to do. Guidance is always useful to be able to make you roll
problem with
better.
that though is if you are using your
Hunter's Mark.
Yeah,
you can't use it at the same time. But usually Hunter's Mark is used for situations where you're tracking or trying to kill something, whereas Guidance would be more of a out of combat, out of more of in social things, or
you
when
just
you're
have
trying
to choose
to solve a
what
puzzle,
to concentrate on.
or
Okay. Let's have a little look into the subclasses. Now that we've had a little overview of the hunter, so the hunter, the ranger. So let's have a little look first of all at Beastmaster. So, what's with the new primal companion? Tell me about this. What's going on? Because it was a summon creatures, wasn't there, in the old rules? It's changed now.
Yeah, so look, I think Beastmaster just stays in essence. It's the it's the one with the horde of animals following it, right? I mean, that's your thing. So with your primal companion, you summon a primal beast. So it's just like this is absolute big ass beast, and you get 3, so you can choose between 3, I guess. So it's beast of land, beast of sea, and beast of sky, but you can choose what form it takes. Okay, so beast of land, you can say it's going to be a bear. Beast of sea, it's going to be a shark, whatever the case is. Okay, and it just leads or lends itself to a lot more role play than what it previously did. I feel, and also, it's if you die, it vanishes. Okay, so that's something else that's important to remember when it comes to this, especially Nightbeard games. Your beast will disappear. Just note. But yeah, it's friendly and it's an ally, which is fantastic for a rogue, for example. So if you have a beast, you've got opportunity of helping out your rogue buddy.
You got anything to add on to that, Mr. Lugier?
No, that was great. I just checked something. Yeah, it was that before you gained a beast companion, and now it's that you summon a primal beast. Yeah. So this leans more into what we said about the magical side of this class. And
do you remember
whatever beast you choose, it bears primal markings indicating its supernatural origin. So it's gonna be quite clear that this is some kind of magical creature, but it's still a sense of an animal. The closest I could compare this to would be like in what's that movie with the bears, Bear Brothers or something like that? Like
Brother Bear. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, Brother Bear. Like they're bears, but they're like primal kinds of bears. Like, yeah.
For us older folk, it will be like Brave Star. I don't know if you remember Brave Star. Like you've got this. Oh, that was just such a kick-ass story.
How are you forgetting about Pokemon, the first movie, with the clones who had the different markings on them? How are we overlooking that?
I mean, it's okay. Good point.
Anyway, we digress.
We digress.
We're not going to discuss that, but I mean, I think the cool thing of this all is, your variables. So when it gets to the different creatures, beasts that you select. And the other thing is when you finish a long rest, you can change up your beast. So you're no longer bound to, or you're not no longer. Sorry, you're not bound to have this one beast forever. It's you doing a sea campaign. You can change it up. You can suddenly have a bear aboard the ship, and then you can have a shark swimming alongside. Then you can have a seagull, whatever the case is. It's all up to you. You can change it after every long race, which is cool.
Would commanding this creature not directly contradict Hunter's Mark?
No. Because this is...
that's going to be your answer there, just no.
Next question.
It doesn't. So no, it doesn't. This is a separate thing to a
concentration.
What you're trying to get at, I think, Face, is that they both require bonus action.
Yes. Yeah. So you'd have to sort of mitigate a cast of it, I suppose.
But the thing is that you could, like I said, you could cast Hunter's Mark up to 90 feet. So you could cast your Hunter's Mark before you engage in actual fighting whatever you're trying to fight.
Oh, so you don't actually have to target a specific target before...
You do, but the feet...
Oh, so the
range
use
is
it.
90 feet, so it's quite a long... So as long as you see the creature, you could start marking it, and when you get to actually start attacking it, or maybe you're closing the gap and sneaking up on it. We'll get to that more in another subclass here. But so it doesn't necessarily need to take away from it.
It wouldn't trigger an attack if you cast it on someone. They wouldn't.
No. And also the thing is that the beast can move and use its reaction, and it acts on your turn, but it can only dodge unless you use a bonus action to let it either attack or do another action that isn't the dodge action.
Okay.
But
and then when you get to 11, though, you get Bestial Fury, and this is where it ties in well with the Hunter's Mark part, because that's where your beast also deals extra force damage.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
So,
but before that, at level 3, when you get the animal right away, you can sacrifice one of your attacks and then make your beast attack with that attack action instead. So even if you use your bonus action, you can just let go of your regular action and give that to the beast.
So they can just charge.
And when you get extra attack at level 5, you can let go of one of those extra attacks. So you can attack one time with yourself and then one time with the beast, and that's still part of the same action.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at the next one, which is the Fey Wanderer. Blending martial and magical power, offers psychic damage through dreadful strikes and Feywild magic. So what are you looking at getting with this? What bonuses are you looking at taking with Fey Wanderer?
Psychic damage! Give me some psychic damage! Yeah, this is the one that messes with people's heads, I think. Because you like a Fey... You get all the Fey... Well, not all, but you get Fey-themed spells. So you get like Misty Step.
Misty Step, yep.
Oh, I mean, that's just such a bitch. If somebody's grappling you, you just Misty Step out of it. It's like, ah! And it's fantastic. I love it. So it's a part ranger, part trickster, 100% fabulous.
I was just gonna say that. You're a suave and cunning interdimensional diplomat.
Yes.
I love it.
100% fab. You're just gonna be like this.
Yeah.
You can role play the hell out of this. I don't want to give anybody ideas, but it can be such a fun character.
I mean, the art in the book for this is also great.
Yeah,
it just looks
quite cool.
sassy as hell with his
hat. It does, right?
I need to put that in the chat.
In it.
Put it in the chat for me later on. I need to see this.
But what does that actually mean for play?
What sort of
a new spell list? So the Beastmaster got a primal companion that allowed it to do all sorts of things. Here you are more into the Feywild magic, and you get some new spells added to your spell list that you otherwise wouldn't have. And that's Charm Person, which you mentioned that you are a fabulous magical user now, and of course you're gonna use that fabulous magic to charm someone so that they are absolutely bewildered by you. You can Misty Step, so you get the ability to teleport now, and then you're gonna be able to summon Fey, so you're gonna be able to summon some really strong magical thing, and then you're gonna be able to Dimension Door, which allows you to now teleport even further, and also with someone, and then you're gonna be able to mislead. Basically all kinds of illusionary trickster kinds of magics.
Yeah, nice. I like the sound of that. That sounds like a good fun class, to be honest with you.
And like you said, you get extra psychic damage when you hit a creature with a weapon as well.
And that's dreadful. That's dreadful strikes. I'm assuming.
Yes, also at level 3 when you pick the subclass.
Yeah, nice. Anything to
you can do that every turn.
Go on. Anything to add on the back of that?
Well, you get bonus. You get a bonus on your charisma, equal to your wisdom modifier as well, because that's how just suave you are, and you also gain proficiency in either deception, performance, or persuasion. So you can build quite a strong social ranger with this one, which is almost a little bit strange for the ranger class, but I think it can get interesting in a longer campaign.
Yeah, and it's like you said, you add your wisdom modifier, which is your modifier for the ranger, for the magics of the ranger. If we didn't say that before, maybe we forgot. But this isn't a charisma class by heart, but allowing you to use your wisdom modifier and then add that to charisma checks makes you just great at those things, even if your class regularly isn't. So it also makes you very versatile for social situations.
Yeah, so that's why I said next to the rogue, this is probably one of your more ambushy kind of classes, right?
Speaking
So
of,
if you have perception together with if you take your proficiency in deception together with your hunter's mark, you can track somebody, you can lie to them and say, you're a door-to-door salesman or whatever, constantly you're there to speak to them about a car's extended warranty. I don't care, whatever, but you'll be able to lie to them successfully and just keep tracking them. It's going to be stupid.
Speaking of roguey type rangers, next is the Gloom Stalker, the ultimate ambusher, some would say. So you're going to have features like you would say that playing a rogue. So it features like Umbral Sight, Dread Ambusher, which enhances stealth and your combat effectiveness in the darkness. So let's have a look at the key points of the Gloomstalker. What makes that one of the more powerful subclasses?
They're Batman with a longbow. That's it. That's it. Done.
Where is she?
It's literally Batman.
I just feel like you don't love this subclass. I'm just getting that feel.
I do love it. I don't love DMing against it. It is really cool, but it's Batman. It is literally Batman with a medieval twist.
I just have to make sure the ranger in my campaign doesn't see this and decides to try and
this would. Yeah, I mean, the Fey Wanderer would be more like a bard, I suppose, because of the illusion and the charming of people and talking your way out of things with better charisma checks. This is like you are lurking in the shadows. You're really, really exceptional at hiding and stealthing and surprising people, ambushing them. Literally, it says that in the thing. You are faster. The first round of combat, you all are always 10 feet faster, and you have an
so are we saying a 40 foot walking speed?
Well, it depends on your
it depends on whatever your speed is, but you have 10 feet extra. Wow. You always add your wisdom modifier to your initiative roll, whereas you usually only add your dexterity modifier. Here is the same thing, that you get to add your wisdom modifier as the last class did, but this is to initiative bonus. So you're going to be more likely to go first in combat as well. And then you have a dreadful strike. Yeah. You want to do that one?
Yeah, no, that's essentially the ranger's sneak attack, right? I mean, that's the extra 2d6 psychic. So and how many monsters do you know that that's resistant or immune to psychic damage? There's maybe a handful.
Psychic is a really good damage type.
Crossing fingers for the new monster manual. 75 new creatures. We're hoping all of them are immune to psychic. But
for sure. No, but it's really good. You can use this feature equal to your wisdom modifier, and then you get all of your uses back when you finish a long rest. But at level 3, this is a great extra way of dealing damage, being faster in combat, and also being faster to act in combat. What would it be without some extra spells? This class subclass gets spells that increase what we said, being sneaky. So you get to disguise yourself.
Does it have dark? Does it have darkness? My most hated of all spells.
It does not, but it has fear and greater invisibility.
Well, but it doesn't have darkness, but it has Umbral Sight, and I'm just going to spoil this for you, FaZe. So while entirely in darkness, you have the invisible condition to any creature that relies on dark vision to see you. So
Oh,
your body just kind of blends into the wall and you look like the wall
the
to anybody with
shimmer.
dark vision. So like you're invisible. They can roll what? They're not going to see you. So it's really, really cool.
Oh, right.
And
And
Umbral
also
Sight
you,
also gives you an additional 60 feet of dark vision. So you can, if you're a human, traditionally no dark vision, you suddenly at level 3, you've got dark vision now, 60 feet. So bring it on.
and
It's
if you already
really
had dark vision, you increase that by 60
by
feet, so you
60
would get 120 feet. So no matter
or
what,
180, yeah, if you
true,
some
true,
classes,
true.
yeah,
So no matter what
or some
species you
species.
play as, with this subclass, you are going to not only be great at moving in the dark, you're also going to be great at seeing in the dark.
That is disgusting. Right, and we must move on to the final one, which is the hunter. So,
I would say this and the Beastmaster is the most classic
Yeah,
of the hunter. I mean, the ranger. Like this would be the first thing you think with a ranger, like the Legolas type, like you're hunting and being
that's
great
it.
with a long bow, and Legolas sometimes breaks out his sword and fights close combat. But
his little daggers and all that.
this is
Yeah.
probably the most martial of
Yeah, it's the Swiss
the
Army
bunch.
knife of the wilds. Eh? It's like just
Yeah, exactly.
it's just no
With this
frills,
class, you don't get
just
new
death.
spells, and
Do
you
you
don't
think
lean
was
too
this?
much into the
Do you
spell
think that
casting
they were
side.
running out of time to publish the book, and it's like, yeah, just hunter, that'll do. That'll do.
No, no, I think what they
Absolutely
wanted
not.
to do, honestly, I think what they wanted to do is I think they wanted to win over some of the third edition players again. Because this is I've seen and I've heard people compare this very much to a third edition kind of archer ranger class.
Yeah,
So it's very
but
much just shoot, deal a hell of a lot of damage, and just kill the things quick, and that's it. That's what this one's there for.
yeah, and if you have a hunter on your team, you are going to love it because right off the bat, you get hunter's lore, and you can call on the forces of nature to reveal certain strengths and weaknesses
Mm,
of your prey. So if you
vulnerabilities,
mark
yeah.
someone with Hunter's Mark, you don't need to make a check or anything like that. You just know whether the creature has any immunities, resistances, or vulnerabilities. And if the creature like
Freaking
doesn't have any, you also know that. Like so, you just know all of this information just by marking somebody with your Hunter's Mark.
Oh, and you're entitled to all the information that the DM has on that
Yeah.
specific
So
creature.
any immunity, resistance, or vulnerability.
And would that
yeah.
be
You don't
would
know
that be for any enemy, not just beast? It'd be anything.
Yeah,
any
yeah, and
enemy
it's
that
not
is
like
marked with
it's not
Hunter's
like you
mark.
just
Yeah.
know that it's vulnerable to something. You know exactly what it is vulnerable to.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. But you don't know the additional things, like you don't know the AC, you don't know the
No,
No,
just
uh
no,
just
no, no.
vulnerability.
But
you just
you
know
know what
the
it's
yeah,
strong or weak against,
yeah.
and that if you are surprised by something or you're fighting something that's freaking crazy and you've never seen it before, like what is this
Like a
creature?
like
If
a
you're
Taurus.
uh, yeah, if you're
Yeah.
hunter market,
Or
you will
spicy
get
meatballs.
that information, and that information could uh, flip any
Really
fight
help the
into your
body, yeah.
favor. Like, because if you have somebody throwing fireballs at something that's resistant to fire, you're immediately gonna change that strategy. Like, oi, wizard, stop doing that. It's not helpful. And he's gonna be like, oh, okay, and change to casting ice maybe. It's just having that information readily available for free, and the target
Oh,
can't use a saving throw or anything like that to get out of it. It's just you know this information. Um, that's how great you are at hunting. You just know things. And it doesn't sound that strong, perhaps, but it's one of the best things uh, that you could have in combat. Is just knowing your enemy.
Yeah,
yeah.
I
And then
agree.
also at level 3 you've got Hunter's Prey, so you get Colossus Slayer. So it's so you can get Colossus Slayer, which is extra D8 if it's missing hit points, or you get Horde Breaker, which is quite a cool one. Um So when what's on each of your turns, when you attack, you make another one with the same weapon against a different creature within 5 feet of the original. So if you have a whole bunch of creatures ganging up on you, you can literally just hit them. You get an extra free attack in essence with Horde Breaker. So that's really cool, and that's straight off at level 3. So yeah, you've got.
It doesn't need to be in close combat either. You could just use your range, your longbow to shoot. The only requirement is that there is 2 creatures that are within 5 feet of each other.
Within 5 feet, yeah.
So it doesn't matter if you go close combat or not. You're still going to be able to hit multiple people.
It is so cool.
Okay. So what would you say out of them 4? Would you say would you say the most powerful? What would you say would be your go-to?
Most powerful? I'm not sure. They're all great at different things, and that's what makes it so fun. But what I really like, I mean, who doesn't love to have a cute little friend? It's gonna have to be the Beastmaster for me.
Beastmaster. I'd probably go with Beastmaster as well. But if I'm just trying to mess with phase, I'd go Gloomstalker, 100%.
Yeah.
It's the closest to the rogue I can get in a different class. I'm going for that one. I hate DMing against it, and I'm sure you will too. So.
And I look forward to it. I'm going to get some new one-shots up soon, so bring one into my game here. We'll see what we can do. What would you say then, when it comes to the weapon mastery properties, what would you say is the must-have for a ranger? I'm going to throw out longbow with slow. I think if you're going to be doing a hunter's build, just pushing them back or keeping them away from you, and the team is always going to be good. Might frustrate your barbarian and your fighter a little bit if you push them away from where they are. But I think from a range point of view, slowing down the opponent or pushing them back is going to be fun, especially if you're going to push them over a ravine or a cliff, which could end that combat. So yeah, I mean, what would you guys use personally, weapon mastery wise?
I think for me, I'd definitely go with the longbow. Go with a push on that one, and then I'd consider maybe on a short sword. I know it's not a hugely popular choice necessarily, but sap.
Well, so when they come close to you and they give some disadvantage.
Sorry, a short sword has Vex.
Vex, that's disadvantage, isn't it?
Vex,
on their next.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Yeah, so
is it disadvantage or advantage?
No. Vex gives you advantage on your next attack roll.
Yeah, Vex gives you advantage on your next attack roll, and then but I mean, you could take something with sap, for example, if you have a long sword. That could do quite a nice kind of damage as well because of the D10 if you're using 2 hands. But you can apply sap. So that would be cool. I'm quite a fan of sap and Vex and push actually.
So if they do get within beating range of you, at least you can give them disadvantage on it.
Yeah.
I mean, I personally would use Vex, and I would have 2 hand axes, and just smash, like just be like a feral kind of. Like Viking,
like a
essentially. Yeah, like a Viking with his primal companion out in the wild, having 2 axes and just slicing. And the thing is, with the Vex, is you get advantage on your next attack roll against the same target. So the first hit with your hand axe gives you advantage on the next hit, and then you hit with the other weapon, and then you set up your next attack. So you're just setting up your attack with every hit.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That actually gives
me a great idea for a fighter with twin axes. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, and then you have your. I would choose a beast of the land, have a big bear with you, and then you are hacking from the front of the enemy, and the bear is attacking from the behind, and anybody would shit their pants.
And I just see you sitting back at the campfire after a hard day of hacking and slashing, just you and your bear eating charred goblin flesh.
Oh, we'd be gobbling up good. Yeah.
Just eating all the flesh. Nuts. And what would you say then is, and obviously I do want to throw out as well that the hunters do have the option to learn spells like Cure Wounds as well. And
true, we didn't touch about that.
Yeah, so that I think is such a massive thing as well. Especially if you go in a team and you haven't got that many healers, your hunter's going to be able to sort themselves out as well. But also things like let's talk. I want to talk about conjure animals, because that is a DM's nightmare, is it not? There's so many things to take.
You can just create a spike trap and poof, all they go.
It's so you have to keep control of all the creatures and the turns.
You can just bunch all the creatures into their own, like all of the same animals have theirs. So even if it's 4 rabbits, all of the rabbits go on the same.
How much HP do they have then?
No, we'll need to do a whole session on running mobs phase. That's a whole that's
great.
Quite a complex, simple but complex thing to wrap your head around. I've been trying to figure this out. I think I've got my head around it, and then I've tried it in a game, and then I've just messed it up. So yeah, it's
but yeah, now we're going through all of the player things. We should definitely do some more dungeon stuff. Master guides types of things.
I think obviously this is season 1. When we go into season 2, maybe we can have a look more at the DM side. Once we've got through this, and I think that'd be the next step where we move to.
Yeah. Also, I think one spell that is great. I don't know if we said that, but you also at level 1 are able to use speak with animals. So not only can you have animal friends, you can actually talk to them, and they can understand you, and you can understand them.
So you're just grunting to your bear. The bear's grunting back. The rest of the party looking concerned and confused.
Yeah, exactly. So even if
you can. Sorry.
Go.
No. Go ahead.
Okay, so even if you are ambushed by an animal or some kind of beast, or you're out exploring, you can use those beasts for information and talking to a little rat and ask what he saw, or like whatever, and that also plays into not only combat or exploration, but role playing in general. And the DM has to pretend to be animals and speak like a little squirrel.
So please, when you're playing in Phases games, don't forget to take this, cast Speak with Animals, and just ask, do I see any animals? Have I seen any animals? Are there any animals?
You forget, I love a bit of roleplay, so I'm all up for that, man.
Yeah, you do. You freak.
Yeah, I think often one that's overlooked, specifically when it comes to a ranger. I think that's got a hell of a lot of roleplay and combat potential as well, is spike growth. I like that. And then everybody goes Cure Wounds. Why not a good berry? Just do good berry. It's
But you also have pass without
make
trace.
Make yourself some good berry juice.
You love that good berry juice, don't you? I mean, you swear by it.
It is one of the most underrated little spells. That's so cool, especially at lower levels. It's so good. But yeah, Lugo, you were saying?
You get access to pass without trace when you get level 2 spells, and that gives you way more stealth. And it's
no way is that level 2. Come on, how?
No, not at level 2, but level 2 spell.
Oh, I see. I was gonna say you get that level 2.
And you get level 2 spells at level 5.
Ah.
So, but still, pass without trace is excellent for getting in and out of whatever you're trying to do unseen.
Especially if you want to be a gloom stalker as well. That's gonna be.
Pair that up with that, and you're gonna be golden. But yeah, there's lots of fun things here, and you have find traps, animal messenger, so you can actually make an animal your messenger. You can have Ron's owl that just flies and tries to deliver a message and fucks off and never comes back. Or the DM can be kind and actually help you send a message to someone or something.
Doesn't sound like something I'd do.
A messenger pigeon. If it doesn't get attacked by a
and that
hawk on
could
the
be
way.
really useful if you see or get knowledge of a village about to be attacked by something, you can't get there in time, and there's a bird flying past. You're gonna be like, "Oi, bird! Tell the people that they need to prepare for whatever's coming." And so it, yeah, could be quite useful at times, and other times it could just be something to mess around with people.
Let's have a look at the feats. What are the best feats for the ranger?
The ones that it walks on, I guess. Sorry.
Right,
so bad.
He's not going to be invited next week. Don't worry, guys.
Oh wow! Wow, thank you.
But
no.
yeah, so but something that's always good is two-weapon fighting. If you like I said, I would do that because I would use a what's it called? A hand axe in each hand, and being able to deal extra. What's it called? More damage with each of those hits with the bonus action hit would be really good.
I think sharpshooter I think would be the obvious one to go for. Tell us about sharpshooter, please.
Sharpshooter? Well, it just gives you extra kind of it's a -5 penalty to attack, but then you get +10 to
no.
That's the old one, right?
That's old. They removed that.
The old
one. They made it not that strong, but you don't get a disadvantage on attacks even if a creature is within 5 feet of you, whereas you normally would with ranged attacks. But your dexterity score increases by 1 now, and your attacks ignore half cover and 3/4 cover. So, I mean, it's still good, but it's
and
not
your long
as
shots,
great.
right? That's the one where you can still shoot further than on your long distance.
Was it 150 on the longbow?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you don't get disadvantage on your long range attacks. Yeah. So you can stand like super far away and precisely hit something. But yeah, for me, who would like to swing my my hand axes in people's faces, would take it to weapon fighting.
I suppose. I suppose. I mean, you could use Warcaster as well if you're going for a spelly kind of range. I keep saying hunter.
Yeah, you could also just take
just for the concentration, because obviously that keeps you in your hunter's mark for longer. And hunter's mark, I think, is always going to be such a key aspect of any build for your ranger.
Yeah, and archery. Get +2 bonus to attack rolls with ranged weapons. That's just going to be great all the time.
Yeah, nice. Let's have a little look at how would you say? Well, what would you say the ranger's main task in a party is? Where do they come into play? Or do they have multiple tasks?
I mean, Dungeons and Dragons is a game about exploring new places, new terrains, discovering things, and fighting tons of monsters. And they're good at all of those things.
Yeah, I think Lugo touched on it earlier when he spoke about being the source of information with the one type of knowing what the enemy is. And I think in combat, that's such a huge part of this.
Knowledge is power.
That's it. And also providing the often overlooked part of, finding the freaking enemy or finding those footprints on a survival check. those kinds of things is definitely where the tracking skills of a ranger comes in. And if your party's clever enough and they able to see the messenger and put a hunter's mark on it, they can track that messenger back all the way to the BBEG and do some level 5 battles against the BBEG, I guess.
Yeah, nice.
It's happened.
So
yeah, and it will continue happening.
of course.
That's what's so fun about this game.
Everything's possible, and that's the thing I love about it as well. Is even when you think you've seen or you can understand how a particular class is played, someone will always make a build that will surprise you. So there's always something that you don't expect. Yeah. So we're not saying any names, but Mr. Saltmite will always find a way to absolutely devastate your game with any character he chooses. So, yes, thanks for that. All right, final thoughts then. So, Rangers, yay or nay?
They are a lot better now, so now yay. In the old player's handbook, they were considered one of, if not the weakest class.
Really?
Yeah, and they've changed a lot of things here, and being able to cast your Hunter's Mark now without expending spell slots, and just overall bumping up the power of the class. And I think we forgot to say it in the start, but you now have more spells prepared than you had before, so you get to use a little bit more magic as well. So I think overall now it's a really good.
They're moving in the right direction. They're getting to where they need to be.
For sure. And I would, without a doubt, play one.
How about yourself?
Yep, definitely. I'm really a fan of this. The more we go into these things, I think there's very few characters that I wouldn't want to play, because every time we go into a bit of a deep dive, I end up wanting to build one.
That's the thing, yeah.
But yeah, it's really cool. I think a ranger, is one of those classes. It's one of the classic kind of roles that you kind of in a longer campaign, you do need somebody who's going to fill this role. You have to have some kind of ranger within your party. Same as like a cleric. You need a cleric somewhere along the line. And
I mean, you need somebody to guide you on the right path. And also, since they're so good at tracking and whatnot, they're gonna be able to find hidden things, hitting paths, and also avoiding treacherous paths or traps and things like that.
There's so much role play that this offers you as well. I mean, with a ranger, you could arguably not need to take any provisions with on a long journey, because they'd be able to, hunt extremely well to provide food for the entire party.
Oh, he's an excuse to bring in good berries again. Look at him.
No, I'm not. I did say hunt. I did say hunt.
Oh, hunt and gather. So yeah, the Rangers, they offer unparalleled versatility. They combine martial skill with primal magic, and they thrive in diverse scenarios. They are a well balanced class, in my opinion. But yes, thank you once again for tuning in to this podcast. I'd like to obviously thank Nightbeard and Aluga for joining me again tonight.
Thank you very much for having us.
Please do come check out the Discord. If you look for Discord in the directory, you will find us. We also have a website with lots of exciting things coming up, including, if you want to introduce it, Nightbeard.
What?
Clippy, your Clippies.
Well, I'll intro it. I'll definitely. So we've got the Clippers Bounty Challenge, which is on a Nightbeard stream. I'm trying to convince FaZe as well to join. But where if your clip gets the most views in the week following, we've changed this. So the week following the broadcast, then you get a reward, and it's quite a cool reward. So it's going to be at least a rare item.
A rare item.
If you're a player, and if you are a viewer, we've had Phoenix won the last one, and she's made a whole new redemption thing for channel points for the Glitterbeards, which is quite cool. So yeah, go have a look. It's Rise. I can't remember what it's called, but essentially it rises. It brings the enemy back to life. So yeah. Oops.
Come check out that on www.mythicguild.com. Luger, is there anything you want to plug? Anything you're selling?
I'm just happy to be here, guys.
Once again, thank you so much, guys, for joining us tonight. Thank you very much for exploring the range with us. We'll be back next week. We'll be back on track now. Christmas is out of the way, but thanks once again for tuning in.
Thank you, everyone.
Cheers.
Take care.
Bye.
Don't forget to love each other. Peace out.